Okay, let's look at a knife. So this is the Poikilo PM2 FD is Full Dress, and you're going to see why. Their little Poikilo chameleon comes in a really nice hard case, spot their logo. Nothing underneath here. They just want to really protect your valley, and you'll see why, because she's pretty. All right, so we've got Baker Forge Volcanic River Damascus across here. That's copper, nickel, copper, clad in this dark material, and then polished on the flat to keep it nice and pretty. And it's pointy sharp, so I'm gonna have to cover it with some painter's tape because otherwise working on this puppy is gonna make me bleed. Then you've got a Mokume handle set. This is literally Japanese wood grain metal, the whole Mokume. Started in the 17th century as sword fittings. In the late 1800s, Tiffany and Company did some silverware to bring the Japanese style over. So you can really see how that copper brass material in there. It's heavy. It's like 6.3 ounces, so this isn't one you're doing some crazy aerials with, but she'll carry some momentum. Hidden hardware. We're going to take this thing apart and show you, but before I do, I really don't want to bleed everywhere, so I'm going to kind of cover up that pointy edge to protect me, and so that I don't have to put a trigger warning about bleeding on this video. It is a live blade. It is sharp, so recommended also if you're ever going to work on this thing at home. Just kind of give yourself a little protection, save yourself from getting banged up. So one of the neat things about this mechanism is the way it works is this is a top piece that's slotted and covers your standard hardware underneath. So we're going to take it apart. Now, Poikilo, super nice guys to deal with. They are their own factory. They're going to send me some tools because, you know, we do a lot with the balisongs and we want to be able to help customers out. But I also wanted to figure out what you would use if you were at home. So the first time I took one of these apart, I had this plastic little stick we used to work on pens and knives. And deep down inside, there is a slot and a little piece that clips on to the handle. So that's what I used the first time, but I thought, well, what were you going to have? So then I experimented with a zip tie. If you have one that's fairly stiff, again, you can see a little bit better on this side. There's a slot, and you can slide that fella in there, and the idea is it's just going to lift that piece up, and when we take it apart, you'll see why, so that it doesn't engage, and then that will help hold it. And then I thought, well, what else are you going to have? So go to the old thrift store, dig around the bottom of the pantry. Some old cutting board material is going to give you something nice and hard, but you want a defined edge to be able to catch on the edge here. So piece of that for down underneath, just to make me a hard surface. Another piece of it here. I don't want to go all the way across. I want to go just right here. And then try to use a non-marring hammer. Something that if you actually did miss, you know, you're not going to hurt anything with. Give her a good tap, and you'll see now I've slid across, and dun da da. So now you can see our zip tie is keeping that little piece away from engaging right there. Oh, it's just as pretty on the inside. All right, and then there is your hardware, so we can pull our little zip tie out. Get this guy out of the way. We don't want to bend that metal too much. You don't want to go crazy and bend that so much out of the way that it won't engage. We want it to be springy so that it will hold on when we put it back together. You can see there's a bevel right there on this piece. And then these little fellas here engage inside here, and that's what helps hold it. You can see in there. Oh, so pretty. All right, so you can, and then beveled hardware. Nice standard torques there, so it won't be anything crazy. So at this point, taking it apart, there's your pins. You would be able to adjust, if you needed to adjust the pivot. That wouldn't be crazy hard. And then going back together is exactly a reverse. You want to set it on. And remember, it's not got a huge amount of travel. So you're going to set it on, and then here, and you're not trying to kill this thing. You just want to have it engage. Make sure it's even with the other side. Make sure the spring catches so it won't come apart. And that's it. That's how you take apart a PM2. It's going to be the same on your titanium, your zircotite, your full dress. So pretty. Of course, kind of hard to flip her with the tape on there. Let's see. Let's get the tape off and get a little bit of indication how it sounds. And then we'll do a little comparison with some other common ballast songs so that you can get an idea. Nice solid sound. It's not a tinny with that construction, but there's no crazy play. Let's see how it stacks up size-wise. And just to give a little ruler idea, it's bigger than my ruler. Let's put it against some other ballast songs. So this is a Serif, and we'll align pivot to pivot. So a Serif is longer in both dimensions and narrower at the handle ends here, and narrower at the pivot. And let's put this against, we'll go with a Lytech here, JK. Again, we'll line up the pivots. So we're, again, narrower at the handle end, narrower at the pivot. We get this about the same length of handle. And we'll go against the good old Squid Raken, because everybody will know that puppy. And about the same blade length. And the Squid is actually a touch longer, but again, narrower. About narrow. The Squid is narrower at the pivots and narrow at the handle. So it's going to be kind of up to you to decide, and then we'll go against. Oh, love that sound. Go against a Cerrone Valley Reaper. Very similar with both at the pivot and at the handle. Probably the closest of all of them that we've compared. Cerrone blade's a little longer. Another wicked one that'll bite you. So that gives you your comparison. Poikilo PM2 Full Dress. We took apart a knife.